Dear students, today we discuss the poem Sea Fever, lesson 6, and the poem is written by John Masefield. Now at first, before we start the poem, we discuss or we learn about something, the poet John Masefield. John Masefield was born on 1st June 1878 in England. He lost his parents in his early childhood. Then he studied at King's School at Warwick, but he left the school and joined the HMS Conway, a great ship, to train himself as a sailor. He loved the sea very much. So, he spent many years in his life on that ship and also continued his studies and writing. He went to the New York after that, and his first book of poem is Saltwater Ballads. And the poem Sea Fever from your text, it is also taken from this book Saltwater Ballads. He joined First World War as a medical orderly, that means a medical associate. He became poet laureate of United Kingdom in 1930 till his death, and he was died 12 May 1967. So, overall, he was an adventurous person. Now we start the first stanza of the poem Sea Fever. It is a lyrical poem and it has 4 lines in one stanza. It is called quatrain. So, quatrain means 4 lines in a stanza and specially having alternate rhymes, that is rhythmic in second line and fourth line, or first line and third line, that is alternate rhymes. So it is a lyrical poem. Now we start. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the whales kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking, and a grey mist on the sea's face and a grey dawn breaking. So here you see the alternate rhymes in sky by first and second line, shaking, breaking, third and fourth line. So it is a quatrain. Now I analyze line by line. First line, I must go down to the seas again. Here, 2 important words are must and again. Must means why must is used here? Must is used to emphasize to do a job. Here, the poet, who is a very close to sea, as you read about his biography in our previous part. So, the poet John Masefield is a very poet nature or nature lover or sea lover. So, he must go down to the seas again. Here, you see that again it is a word that means he went to the sea before many times, not the first time, before many times he went to the sea, and now he wants to go to the sea voyage again another time. So here his wonder thirst for the sea is revealed here. So he wants to see again and again. And must means to emphasize to do that job, to go to the sea again. To the lonely sea and the sky. Here, lonely sea and sky. Why the poet used the word lonely? Because the poet want to go to the sea, the deep sea that is far from crowd and where nobody can easily go that place, where the sky and the sea both are very lonely, very calm, very quiet. So the poet wants a free, full of social burden life, and there he enjoys his life with the lonely nature with alone. He alone wants to enjoy the nature, the sea, the beauty of sea. So he wants to go to the lonely sea and the sky. And all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And for that sea voyage, what the poet wants? He only wants is a tall ship. Tall ship means strong and very huge ship to carry goods for many days, because he wants to go to the sea voyage for a long time. So he wants to carry his clothing or foods and etc. For that cause, he wants a tall ship that is strong and huge, and a star to steer her by. Here is a very beautiful inner meaning. Star. Which star? Here the poet speaks about the pole star or polar star. In previous time or ancient time, star was the only way for the sailors to control a ship into the deep sea. There was no digital system or GPS system like now. So, star is the only way to control a ship. Steer means control. And here, an important word is her. Who is her here? Her is the tall ship. The poet signifies the ship by personifying the ship with a human, with a female. Here personification is used with the word her. So what is personification? Personification is to personify an inanimate object with a living object. So here the tall ship is personified with a human being or with a female. Now, and also in this second line, alliteration is used. Alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the use of a letter in the beginning of a word in a same line repeatedly. Here you see in the second line, star, ship, star, steer. All these words begin with the letter S. So it is a use of alliteration. In poem, it is used. Now we come to the third line. And the wheels kick and the winds song and the white sails shaking. And poet also want wheels kick. Wheels kick, wheel is steering of the ship, and that's kick, that sound. And the wind song. Wind song, it is a metaphor. It is also is a figure of speech. It is metaphor. So what is metaphor? Metaphor is comparison between two things. So here the sound of the wind is compared with a song. So the wind song. And the white sails shaking. White sail means in ancient time there was no engine, so only sail helped the sailors to control the ship with the speed of the air. And with the speed of air, the sails are shaking. So the poet wants all these things: a tall ship, a star, wheels kick, and wind song, and white sails. All these are necessary for him. Now, in this third line, also alliteration is used. Wheel, wind, white. All these words begin with W word, W letter. So it is an use of alliteration. Now we come to the fourth line. And a grey mist on the sea's face and a grey dawn breaking. And as a result, he also wants grey mist on the sea's face. Sea's face. Here it is another use of personification. Here the surface of the sea is compared with a human face, and his ship, also grey mist means a foggy substances in the surface of the sea. So here it also used in the sense of obstacle, some obstacle. And a grey dawn breaking. And dawn means the end of the night and beginning of a day. That the middle point of the time. So, the poet also wants to reveal that with all the problems, his ship must overcome all the obstacles and go forward. So, it is the first stanza. I think you all understand.